him. Oh.
Hello.
Hello, Tim. Kimro.
Hobby ski.
Hey, how Tony Ski? How David Ski?
And Heather might be late.
Okay. All right. Okay. See. See whoever else comes. All right. Any news on the games?
Yeah, it is going to be the 20th and the 21st. It's the park's near Snapdragon, so it's Mission Valley.
What, a park in Mission Valley?
It's right by Snapdragon Stadium.
By where?
Snapdragon used to be the old Jack Murphy Stadium, but the San Diego State has it now. That's where San Diego State plays their games.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
And there's a trolley that goes right by there, so it's easier.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
But the only thing is flat. So I don't know about the dog things. Because the dogs look like going up and down hills. It's gonna be flat for them.
Okay. So June 20th and 21st.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. Well, good. Okay. I'll enjoy that.
It's their 50th. Last year was supposed to be their 50th, but because they had to cancel, so this year's they're gonna get the 50th.
Right. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
This time they have a contract.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good to know. Got it. All right. Okay.
It was hot here. Was it hot up there?
Well, it was warm.
Oh, we hit 85.
Oh, geez. Okay. Yeah.
But it
No, it
was
was
not.
in the 70s here. So,
And then it was cold at night, like 46 for us, and that's cold.
yeah. 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 We up here in the mountains, we're typically about 10 to 20 degrees cooler.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Which uh works both ways. The winter we're colder and in the summer we're cooler. So anyway, but anyway. Well, I think Lisa's going to be with us too, so I'm not sure where everybody else is.
It was easy to come in today. So Zoom was good.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. That's good.
But I
Yeah.
had to be careful. Sometimes I hit something, I can hear you, but I can't see anybody. So I don't know
Oh,
what happens.
yeah. Yeah. So you have your calendar on, your camera off
Camera's
now.
off, yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. That's all right. Yeah. So, yeah. You know.
Hey,
Okay.
here's
Here we
Lisa.
go. Here's Lisa. Hello, Lisa. Kimro.
Hami Salinach, sad, Salinach,
Stolenach.
Stolenach,
Stolenach.
Hami Harshin passed away, died yesterday.
Jech, Kaddish, I get, yeah, Jech, no, maybe Muladach, no, Bron, Muladach, and, you know, not a totally pleasant topic, but, and a couple different ways to say somebody died. One, something like passed away, kind of the equivalent, but a kuchel, which literally means to change.
Oh,
Yes. And the past tense only, interestingly enough, is yeg,
Yig.
e e eug, okay, and then and then there's basi, bas would be death, basi would be to die, but at least traditionally not used for people.
Oh, mhm.
So for people, we usually use kuchel, the verb kuchel, so anyway, so hami dulich reclunchen, hami dulich, so an ro Delua, close.
Oh, ha.
So,
Yeah, many, many years. Yeah.
Imigliana.
Uh, see, he was 92 though, so old. Yeah.
Okay. Hair Fickets Yayug. 4 20s and 12.
Oh, is that how you
Yeah,
say it?
yeah. Care Fickets Yayug. Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, how me do like Lashin Traum. There's another way of saying sad. Traum.
Frown. Oh, that's
Yeah.
yeah. I was trying to
Heavy.
Traum.
Heavy. Okay.
That explains it. That's a
Yeah,
good
traum
word.
can mean either sad or heavy, just literally heavy. Something's heavy, heavy to lift.
That's
Or
exactly how I feel. Yeah.
yeah,
That's a
okay,
good, yeah,
yeah,
that's a good
yeah. Or it could
translation.
also mean it pregnant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. As in English, people used to say heavy with child.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, traum. Okay, so it has a few different meanings. So let me do it. So D Kimarahau
Ski.
Avelu ski.
Mm.
Oh, Carson.
I hurt my knee. It was it's a recurring injury. Apparently. Apparently there's been damage to it since like January 2024. And so I got to get an MRI for it, but it's just I'm not happy with the situation.
How many do like an Rui? No skier?
No, so it's instability in my knee is the problem, from the injury from before. And so, I do Muay Thai. And so this happened when I was standing up, doing a roundhouse kick. And as I was kicking, my knee just gave out and I just fell to the ground. So, yeah.
How many do like,
Mhm.
yeah. Just one of those freak things.
Yeah, it's, yeah.
Chichimus Neonach. The strange accident. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, fair enough. How many do like? We do like. So, you know, uh, once many years ago, I threw out my back, bending down to pick up the newspaper. Yeah. So, yeah. So, it's, strange things can happen to the body, just when you least expect it. So anyway, we'll call you. Okay. No. Tim, the Bell Nayak Akitsa?
Okay, the other ones weren't here. So the Highland Games are going to be June 20th and 21st at the Riverfront Stadium. But
The
I was telling
Riverfront
the
Stadium.
professor because
Okay.
the land's flat. So for the dog thing, they don't have no hill. So at least it's gonna be a lot
Oh, for the
cooler
what? For the what?
for the dogs because
Dogs?
they have the herding sheep.
Right. So do
So,
they
and so
need hilly ground for the dogs?
I think it's easier for them because at flat ground you can see it better, but they always had it up on the hill.
Oh, okay. Oh, hushing Inchinook.
But
Okay.
the bad news I have is I have to go to jury duty tomorrow.
Oh. Okay.
Every day I was lucky, but the thing is, I work for the court. They don't want me.
Okay.
I'm not neutral.
Right, right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, are you going to try to get excused?
They're going to let me out. But I was supposed to be Monday because they've kept on putting off. I said, oh, maybe my week will be up. No.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Drochnaik. Bad news. Drochnaik. Okay. All right. Oh, here now. Okay. All righty. Okay. So, does anybody have any questions or anything? Any questions before we get started? Okay. Right. Okay. So, so I gather you had a chance to take a look at the lesson, maybe. Okay. If not, of course, we're going to go over it. Okay, so
I
let
was
me.
happy to see it was review.
What's that?
So I was happy to see that it's review.
Yeah. Yeah.
Things
Yeah.
that I'm not clear on yet. That's good.
Yeah. 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 And it gets kind of complicated. So we'll, yeah. 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 So we'll take it a little bit slow from this. And I decided to, when we get to the adjectives, we'll just start off with two adjectives. So, yeah, so uh, that'll simplify things, and then from there we can expand it. But now, of course, when we're looking at that, and I probably repeat myself when we get to that point, very often, well, I find for myself, I find it's helpful, maybe in addition to learning the general rule, the abstract rule, you keep in mind a specific example. So when you encounter that issue, you can say, well, in the case of what we're going to get to, time or nian vec. So that becomes, so rather than, well, let's say you'll unite the adjective modifying nominative masculine noun, and then no, you don't lenite, but then you see, I just said it wrong. Same, but then you do lenite the adjective modifying the nominative feminine noun, and you slenderize. You see, that just gets long. And so if you just say nien, actually be nien vic, right? Or either nien vic or on nien vec. You see, so you just have these models, very quick models, and then you can apply in a moment. You can apply that to anything that you're dealing with. But anyway, we'll get to that point. So, all right. So let's go to. I gotta share. Let me share the screen. Okay, right here. Okay, so Gaeltach. That's a Gaeltach. All right. All right, and here's the Piper of the week. Pieperich an Erich a Stech. Piping spring in. Okay. All right, I have a little in our Sgeulachd section. I'll talk a little bit about the season. Okay. Anyway, but right now, our Zoom link will be there. All right. Okay. Fàilte. Okay. So, and a little look forward to where we're going to go with our Sgeulachd. I have a couple short videos. So here we go. Whoop, let me stop the share and make sure I have the sound turned on. Yeah. All right. Okay. All right.
Òran.
Can you hear that? What, did you hear him?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, Gleba. Okay. All right.
Òran. Tuan. Chosolch Derishan Wan. What's the Gaelic for a suckling lamb? Sugan. Shugan. Shokan. What's the Gaelic for a pet lamb? Kira. Kira. Kitty. Edible and wine. Cuireadan. Le Òran. Le Òran ille. Chajianer Òran. Berere. Na Huain is Charoch.
There we go. Òran. All right. Okay. So, and before we go much further, you'll see the relevance of that. But anyway, so I've got a couple little La New Bhrìde. Who is Bridget?
Welcome back to our 15 days to Imbolc or Imbolc, and today I'm going to be talking about the goddess Bridget. In Celtic mythology, Bridget is revered as a triple goddess, embodying three essential aspects: fire, healing, and creativity. She is a divine force that transcends the boundaries between earthly and spiritual realms. As a fire goddess, Bridget is often symbolized as a perpetual flame, a beacon of inspiration and transformation. Her flame ignites the spark within, fostering creativity and passion and a drive for innovation. Bridget's healing aspect is closely tied to sacred wells and springs. She is also the midwife of nature's rebirth. She brings life back to the land, awakening it from winter's slumber, which is what Imbolc is all about, right? This moment of renewal and emergence. During Imbolc, devotees would light sacred flames in honor of Bridget. These flames symbolize not only the returning of the warmth of the sun, but also the eternal flame of inspiration that Bridget keeps alive within us. She's also said to visit people's homes during Imbolc and offer blessings of abundance and protection. So as we celebrate Imbolc, may her warmth inspire our hearts and kindle the fire within us. Welcome back to our 15 days.
All right. I've got one more for us.
Every January 31st, Irish families still hang cloth outside their homes overnight. And by morning, that fabric becomes one of the most powerful healing objects in Celtic tradition. But the church tried to erase where this magic really comes from. Think St. Bridget was just a Christian saint, because this ritual is far older and more pagan than the Vatican ever wanted you to know. Here's what they've hidden. On the eve of February 1st, St. Bridget's Day, or Imbolc, in the ancient Celtic calendar, Irish people hang ribbons, strips of cloth, or rags outside their doors and windows. By sunrise, the cloth is believed to be blessed by Bridget herself as she passes through Ireland during the night, giving it permanent healing powers. These brat bride cloths are kept for years and used to cure headaches, fevers, childbirth pain, and protect against illness. But here's the truth the church buried. Bridget wasn't originally Christian. She was a powerful Celtic goddess of fire, healing, poetry, and fertility worshipped for thousands of years before Christianity arrived. When the church couldn't eliminate her, they absorbed her, turning the goddess into a saint with a conveniently similar name and feast day. The ritual of hanging cloth predates Christianity entirely, its ancient Celtic magic repackaged as Catholic tradition. Families who practice this today are unknowingly performing a pagan ritual that survived 1,500 years of Christianization. Follow for more Irish traditions that are secretly pagan practices.
Right. Okay. So we will return.
Here's the St. Bridget's cross.
What's that?
It's St. Bridget's cross.
Oh, cross. Oh, right. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because it was Sunday. Someone came to the House of Scotland and said, "Oh, St. Bridget's Day. Why don't you put some ribbon outside?" And so it was Sunday.
Well,
I didn't know.
Yeah,
so I bought this. And Ireland doesn't have one, and Scotland doesn't have one. So I got 2 crosses I'm going to put up.
Very good. Yeah. Very good. Yeah. And so that's the reason that I'm bringing up Bridget, because St. Bridget's Day was
Sunday.
on February 1st.
Yep.
And I have a little presentation that'll expand upon that significance. And then also when he mentioned the cloth, it's called bhrìde, which is brat nowadays means something like a carpet. A brat ular would be a rug, but in the old days it would mean like a piece of cloth, or it could be a shawl, of a bhrìde, of Bridget. So anyway, yeah. All right, Gleba, but you have a St. Bridget's cross. Very good. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So let's go back. All right. Okay. Shanach on the Shekina. Hanil Porsche de Hainish and Smearach Sangeren. Hanil Porsche de Hainish and Smearach Sangeren. Na Queen I Moon Rui and Cherach. There isn't a song down here, translation. There isn't a song that the mavis sings. Mavis is a kind of bird, a songbird, like a thrush, sings in February that she won't lament before spring is over. So, Chenel Porsche de Hainish, okay, that's the relative future of Shane, on Smearach Sangeren, Ansageren, okay, in February. Now, Kuhn, yeah, to keen, to lament, Munrui and Cherach, before runs out the spring. And a little note, I have a little write up here. Garen, around early February, is when people start to feel spring coming, but it's a trickster season. Okay, sometimes with a false promise of bright, warm days, but ends up with being more cold. And the proverb warns against celebrating too soon. Okay, so anyway, maybe more generally, don't declare victory too early. I remember seeing on YouTube some time ago athletes who celebrated victory too early, and only to have, only to drop the ball or have something happen. So it's a warning about premature certainty. Okay. Anyway, so and so here a couple language notes. Okay. All right. Anyway, so all right. So very appropriate to our season now. Yeah. So so we have a spell of warm weather, but just a reminder, it might not last. We might get another winter storm or two before the season turns totally. But it's interesting though. The Gaels typically celebrated, so this comes much earlier than, say, officially spring, and in our current calendar. And this is something like when Gaels noticed or marked the beginning of a day, the day would begin on nightfall of what we would consider the day before. So when the sun sets today, that's the beginning of tomorrow. Today's Wednesday, sun sets on Wednesday night. That's the beginning of Thursday, actually. Okay. And that's not uncommon. So we know, for instance, that Jews consider the beginning of Sabbath, they celebrate Sabbath on Saturday, of course, but the beginning of Sabbath is Friday night, Friday sunset. And that's when they're supposed to start celebrating the Sabbath and observe the Sabbath, if they're Sabbath observant, and, do their rituals and, whatnot, and until sunset on Saturday. So, so the Gaels kind of worked along those lines. Right? So anyway, that, so hence this, the St. Bridget's Day was the day of officially the beginning of spring, and this is the season. We had the little video about Òran, the lamb. This was it was in February and March that the lambs were starting to be born or were born. Okay, it was the lambing season. So anyway, all right. Grammar na shekin. Okay, so anyway, so a little review of how to tell gender. I call that gender radar. Okay, okay. Gender is lexical and arbitrary. That is, it's assigned kind of arbitrarily to words, but there are some predictors, okay, which are predictors are good bets, but not laws. So, and this is very quick, just reminds us. Feminine nouns ending with these endings, okay, a, ek, laun, och, and nouns whose last vowel is slender. Okay, so ends in an e, kolya, shlia. Okay, ends in an ak, unyek, tunak. Ends in laun, as in a place, lor laun, a library, oper laun, a laboratory, literally a workspace. Okay, ends in ak, giak, divinity, Gaeltacht, the Highlands. Oh, we could also put Bartok, okay, poetry, okay, right? And the last vowel slender. So not the last letter, but the last vowel. So like Sgeulachd, shekin. So you see you have the last vowel is an I, even though there's a consonant that comes after it, okay? And then females are female creatures, okay, and sometimes noted by Ben or Bon that will turn a male occupation, a male job, for instance, female, somewhat in the way that s at the end of a word is used in English, like actor, actress, waiter, waitress. So we have a boundary, okay, and here we have ban, and then the ri, a king. So literally a woman king. Ben Chesek, a female teacher. Banagaskak, a female hero or a heroine. A ben, okay, a wife or a woman. Nian would be a girl. Oh, so all these are feminine. Kerk, a chicken. Okay. Often masculine. Nouns whose last vowel is broad, plus designators of males or masculine creatures. So dunya. So note that we have the slender, the e ending, but it's still a masculine noun. Tarif, bull, a male creature. Iascar, a fisherman. So even though we have the I, the gar indicating a person or a person of that occupation is most often masculine. A ri, okay, a king. Okay, prunsa, a prince, okay, masculine. Okay, okay. And there's always exceptions, so don't get freaked out by exceptions. But I've heard that something like 75% of nouns are masculine. So if you don't know the gender, you know, you can still guess with some confidence. Okay, so and if you guess masculine, you'll be right. I don't know, 75% of the time. Okay, but there are exceptions. Oh, so I didn't write those down, but let's see, Ashik, fairy. Okay, masculine. Though the EAG might indicate feminine. Boo, store, which is feminine, though the broad vowel might fool you into thinking that it's that is masculine. Okay, so anyway, but like I said, there are exceptions, but for the most part, you'll be correct. And if you aren't, you know, for the most part, not something to get excited about. Okay. Okay. Oh, another one, mook, pig, feminine, though with broad vowel. It's just another one that occurred to me. So anyway, so we've got some exceptions. Anyway, and the rule that will change your Gaelic life. Okay, maybe your entire life. Okay. Okay. Learn it with an article and ideally a pet adjective. Okay, so example would be on tie more, masculine versus a vain vor, feminine. And so we'll be taking a look at, you see, so just these constructions will help you remember the gender of the gender of the noun. Okay, and we'll see how that works. Okay. And I found this online. Some languages, like we don't need a word for the. Other languages are like you completely, we actually need 24 words for the. Okay. Gaelic Drastahain. So there are quite a few different thes in Gaelic. Okay. All right. So the use of the definite article the is complicated. So not to scare you, but there's something like 60 different variations of the noun and definite article combination. But we're going to get to them and we're going to learn them. Okay, so, and these refer to the gender of the noun, masculine, feminine, okay, the case of the noun, it's a role that the word plays in the construction of a sentence, okay? And I don't know why I said 4 and I only have 2 listed. So let's put first letter of the noun, okay, and number, number, singular, plural. All right. Okay. So, the case, that is, it's the role that the word plays. And case is easily demonstrated in English. We can see the same person we use different pronouns. She saw her or he saw him. See, so that demonstrates case. Okay. That we use it in English, we use different words. Now in Gaelic, the pronoun doesn't change according to case, but the noun can, or the, how we form the noun. And we'll be taking a look at that. Okay? All right. So in English, nouns don't change case. Mary saw Billy or Billy saw Mary. So the nouns in English don't change, but in Gaelic, they can. Okay? All right. So, right here, I have the initial letter of the noun. I go into a long example, but anyway, in singular or plural. Let me move this back up because I went into the explanation. Okay. Okay. There we go. Okay. All right. Okay. And Gaelic has a number of different ways to say the, on t, na, h, and of the, na, non, num. Okay, and I repeat this. Okay. Which one is used depends on these things that I said before. Okay. And as I said before, there's something like 60 different possible variations. All right. So we're not going to learn all 60 of them. I don't expect you to learn all 60 of them tonight. Okay. But we're going to get started. Okay. So, and the first one is what you might call the root form. And the masculine nominative accusative. Okay. Is a form of the noun which is the root noun. Okay? The form you find in the dictionary when you look up the word. Okay? Ha'ambata Sgeulachd, the boat is saying. Han dunya art, the man is tall. Okay? The accusative, what's that? Is that right? No. The objective is a form of the noun when the noun is the object of the verb. Gaelic does not make a distinction between the subject and the object of the verb. So, Hiol an dunya ambata, the man sailed the boat. Hunik mi an dunya, I saw the man. And Gaelic doesn't make a distinction with the pronouns either. So, so I saw him. We change the case of the pronoun. In Gaelic, we don't do that. Hunik mi a. Okay. All right. So, okay. So here I explain how we find the root of the verb. All right. So, okay. For masculine nouns in the accusative, 3 forms of the definite article: on t, and on. All right. So let's take a look at the definite masculine nouns now. The voweled nouns, the nouns with the vowel onset, that the vowel is the first letter. Masculine singular nouns that begin with a vowel take a T prefix. So on tort, on chech, on ular, on ul. Okay, so this is when we would say the word by itself, or it's the subject of the verb. Okay, or even the object of the verb. Okay, on tort. So it takes the T onset if it's a vowel. And the mother bakes fine pies nouns, okay, that begins with M, B, F, or P. We use ambata, fhaill, press, amur. Okay, so and this makes sense. So here we have mother bakes fine pies, or a bowl of fluffy mashed potatoes, whichever you like. And this makes sense if you think about how you say this, where your lips are when you see, when you say bata, kind of fits into bata. I'm going to stop the share for a moment and you can see me speaking. You say bata, your lips are right there. Fhaill, Your lips are right there. Or press, the bush. Press can also be a cupboard, but your lips are right there. So it's very much a phonological, that is a sound-based rule. You see, so if you had another form of the, on, you see, you'd have to go on bata, so very often speakers of languages are lazy. Okay, so it's too much work to say on and take a look at where your tongue has to be. Your tongue has to be, the upper palate, and you have to go on bata, and so you have to move your mouth around a lot. So anyway, so it's just a phonological rule on bata. Okay, anyway, but only for masculine nouns. Feminine nouns follow a different rule. Okay, so anyway, but okay. All right, so okay, and right here only to masculine nouns. All other nouns in the nominative masculine noun, in this perhaps the most common, take on, such as on crook, the hill, on Jelliff, the picture, on loch, the lake, on toll, the hole, on sluag, the people, not people in general, but as a race or the folk, okay, on sluag, or on scatten, the herring. So these take the on, okay. In short, any masculine noun that doesn't begin with either a vowel or isn't a mother bakes fine pies noun takes on. A masculine noun in the nominative, in the root form. Okay. All right. So right here, you see how we can use the definite article as a mnemonic device, because the rules for the feminine are different. And we'll get to those. I think I have this scheduled that we'll get to the feminine rules next week. And then we have to get to the rules for how to use it with the preposition. But you'll see when we finish this that if you remember once you learn a word, if you remember it with the definite article, with the, that helps you remember the gender. Okay, all right. Okay. The matcha. So this is irregular. We see that's irregular. Okay. Hold on one second. Let me double check that. That's yeah, matcha. Yeah. You see, I didn't believe. Yeah, I didn't believe that. So we can see how irregular that is. It's got an I and an E, but yet it's still it means stick, but it's still masculine. Okay, so all right, okay. Oops. So want to delete all these. No, I don't want all of these. Well, how can I do this then? Okay. Don't want you cheating. Hold on a second. I'll just leave 20. So we'll go down to 20. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. So so when I resend this out, they'll be blank like they are now, so you can practice. But let's try filling in the correct definite article. Okay. So bata and definite article, remember, so remember definite article is a the. By the definite article, we mean the. Okay. In English, we have an indefinite article, which is the. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Which is or an. It's the indefinite. Gaelic, as we know, does not have an indefinite article. There is no or an in Gaelic. We just have the definite article. Okay, so anyway, all right. So the definite article for bata would be what? Okay. How about balak? Okay. Fair. Very good. Yeah. These are easy. Don't be confused.
Again.
Again. Mak. Okay. How about aher? Anta. Very good. Yeah, antaher. Yeah. Braher. Yeah. Shenner. On Shenner. Courage. On courage. Teacher. On. Yeah. Dochter.
On.
Yeah. Olenach.
On T.
On Olenach. Very good. On T. Yeah. Okay. Tuanach, a father, not a father, but a farmer. Tuanach. On Tuanach. Siger.
On T. Doc there.
On Siger.
On Tiger?
On Siger.
Okay.
On Siger. Yeah.
You have to have the T, right?
What? No T.
Okay.
Yeah. The T rule for the S words gets a little complicated, and we'll get into those in following weeks. Okay, but for the masculine, it's no T. Okay, only think of the T as only one per customer, and the vowels have that. The vowels have already claimed the T, so only one per customer. So not for the S's. The S's are left out. Okay, Gila. On. Okay. Cut.
On.
Ku.
On.
Nope. Ech.
On check.
T.
On
check.
On check.
On T.
Yeah. Ian.
On T.
On tune.
On Chian. Yeah. T. Yeah. Isk.
On
Chiach.
On Chiask. Yeah. On Chiask. Yeah. Gleva. And then I'll send these to you, and I'm going to delete all the other answers, and then you can fill them in and practice this if you wish. Okay. All right. Okay. Here's an answer key. Okay. All right. Where did I put this? Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now this is an example of what we have to look forward to. Bard would be poet. Bard would be the poet. Of the poet would be avarsht. Avarsht, of the poet, and that's the genitive. Okay, but we're not learning that tonight. I just had a note for another class. Okay, all right, Leva. All right, okay, all right. Any questions?
No, but that was helpful for review.
Okay. Well, I'm glad. So practice it, and and remember, this is just the beginning. Okay, but I want to give it to us in small little chunks. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So now let's see what we have else. All right. Okay. And as I said, I'm going to erase all these and maybe even give you some more. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. Oh, now this is kind of fun. William Ortuck. William Thumb. William Thumb. Just a little children's song. But but it's fun because yeah, I'll stop the share for a moment because the fingers, for little children have names. William Ortock would be the thumb, and then yeah, and then C. Okay. Okay, so let's see. William Ortock.
Cúna Horthacan mar seo. Shall it
So Curna Horstigan mar show. Okay, now Hortigan. You see, put the thumbs like this. Shall or William Ortock. Okay, William or
Look at William. The thumb.
William. William Thumb. Okay. Ortock can also mean generally a finger, but here's thumb. Okay. All right.
is William Orthac? William Orthac. Gleva. Agus Ned. Callum Kodak. Callum Kodak.
Column Korak. Column Korak. Your index finger.
Gleva. Agus Ned. Mariata.
Long Murray.
Mariata.
Mariata.
Macanafa.
Okay, Mariata. So if somebody cuts you off in traffic, you can always give them the Mari.
Murray, father. You won't get in trouble.
Yeah.
Doesn't think so.
Okay, so the next one, I can't hold it up. My hands don't work that way, but Makanapa, the son of the abbot, Makanapa.
Oh.
Macanafa.
Okay. Oh.
Lutikvek.
Little one.
Yeah, the little one, the little, the pinky. Okay.
Illy, Bamaha. And they'll ship Jishal Urs in the shine. Skadia.
Ready to sing?
And they'll ship Jishal Ga.
Ready?
Three. William Ortag. William Ortag.
Habit.
Amisha. Kimara. Callum Korak. Callum Korak. Amisha. Amisha. Kimara. Mariata, Mariata, Amisha, Amisha, Pimera, Makanafa, Makanafa, Amisha, Amisha, Pimera, Latha. Latha, Amisha, Amisha, Kimera, Orakin fat, she, Hashinsha, Kimera, Hashi, oh, Gilly, Bama.
There we go. All right, so now you know the names of your fingers. Okay, so you can go through the week singing or talk. Okay. All right, so let's see if I can find my Bhrìde presentation. Here depends on where I put it. No, I didn't put it there. Okay. Yeah, there we go. All right, there we go. I can trust you can see the screen.
Yes.
Very good. Okay. Imbolc. Okay, so in English, it comes across with a C, Imbolc, but in Gaelic, Imbolic. La Nuv Bhrìde, the day of Saint Bridget. Okay, And here, just like I was saying, celebrating the arrival of spring, or the coming of spring. So even with snow on the ground, we have some lilies. Okay, so we're anticipating spring coming. So it's halfway between the winter solstice, Aichen an Seachdaine, literally the night of the seven suppers, called that because it's the long night. The night's so long we can have seven suppers. Aichen an Seachdaine, okay? And the spring equinox, that is when the days are of equal length. Okay, or the day and the night is of equal length. Kohat Ra an Erich, okay? Kohat Ra, of an equal length of spring, okay? The equinox, okay? So it's halfway between. And the Gaels would the timekeeping of the Gaels, of course, they didn't have clocks for the most part, but they kept time largely by quarters, quarter of the year. So, so we have these quarters of the year, or these portions of the year. Okay. All right. So, imbolc means in the belly of the mother. Bollock is a belly or bulge or a womb. Okay. The seeds of spring are beginning to stir in the belly of Mother Earth. And there is an association with Danu, the Celtic mother goddess. And so, okay, so so we have these the celebration of the coming of life after winter. Officially, the first day of spring, or at least officially for the Gaels, okay, it was originally a pagan festival associated with lambing season and the goddess Bhrìde. And Bhrìde represented the light half of the year and the power that brought season of light and life out of the dark season of winter. And as I remarked earlier, the lambing season was February and March. Okay. Ancient festival goes back to the very earliest times that we have any record of, and probably long before that. For instance, in the epic tale of Tain Bull Cooley, the cattle raid of Cooley, the great Gaelic epic, indicates that Imbolc is 3 months after the 1st of November of Samhain, the after Halloween. Okay, so which would place it right at February 1. Okay, so it was so it goes back to pre-Christian times and Celtic times. Okay. And who is Bridget or Bhrìde? So Bhrìde was a member of the Tuatha, the people of the goddess Danu, the daughter of Dagda, the chief god. Her sacred tree was the birch. She was associated with wisdom, poetry, protection, smithing, and domesticated animals. She was the goddess whom poets adored. She had 2 sisters, Bridget the healer and Bridget the smith, that is like the blacksmith, the person who made things, okay? Which suggests that in ancient times she may have been a triple deity, like a trinity. Okay, so Christianity isn't the only world construct or faith or religion that had trinities. And as an infant, she was fed with the milk from a red-eared white cow. So this is great, a red-eared white cow, which by itself is a symbol of prophecy, or because associated with Bridget, is a symbol of prophecy. The white cow with the red ears. And so here we have a picture of Bridget riding in on, the cow of prophecy. The saint's origin story. What about the saint? She was so eminent in the pagan, or at least the Gaelic pagan pantheon. So here we're talking about the Gaels, okay? Not going into, Europe or the Germanic nations or the Vikings or anything like that, but the Gaels. But she was so popular that she was adopted by the Catholic Church as a saint. And this was very common. The Catholic Church has historically been been open to absorbing the customs and the culture of the people amongst whom it spread. I mean, so for instance, if you go into Africa, you'll see icons of the Black Madonna, the mother of Jesus, black. Okay, that the church has very often, the Catholic Church anyway, has very often adopted and absorbed the some aspects of the religions of the people amongst whom it sprang. So for instance, the church would come to an area and note that the people there, worship their pagan gods on a certain hill. They'd build a church on that hill. You can still go to the hill, but we'll just worship, Jesus or something like that, or and as in the case of and this is not uncommon in the case of Bridget, took a pagan goddess and adopted her as a saint. And the story is that the Christian story is her mother gave birth to Bridget at dawn on the threshold. So this liminal time period is very important. It's kind of symbolically important. It's on the threshold. It's a threshold event. It's liminal. And the mother was bringing milk into a druid's house. So here we have mention of the druids. Okay, so Bridget is kind of liminal in herself, kind of halfway between the druids and the Christians. So she bridges that. And some other stories have her as being midwife for Mary, the mother of Jesus, and so. And so she was I have a slide later about how she got from Ireland to to Bethlehem, but that's part of the story. That's part of the myth of Bridget. Adapted into Gaelic Christianity is La Eilbhríde, St. Bridget's Day. Okay, and here we have a children's painting, St. Bridget of Kildare. I would like an abundance of peace. Okay, right here. And so we have some symbols of St. Bridget. Celebrated, and like Tim shared with us, weaving Bridget's crosses hung over doors and windows to protect against fire, illness, and evil spirits. I have a little video here. Let's see if we can get this to work. Oh, I don't know why it does that. It worked before. I don't know why it's, okay. Well, St. Bridget's Day, okay. What do we have? Oh yeah, I think this is it right here, okay. Brad, Switzerland, hang on. And okay, here we go.
Yoko, is this a very old tradition here?
Well, yes, it is very old in this part of the country. And as far as we know, it goes back to the Middle Ages when the eve of the feast day was a very important rural festival in rural Ireland.
Is the tradition here very strong, Mr. Shoko?
Well, particularly in the south of us, mainly the districts of Beaufort, Kilgobbinett, Gapton Law, Glenbeigh, all these picturesque localities at the foot of McLecory's Rakes.
But is there much difference between the Biddy boys and the Wren boys?
Mainly in the costumes. As far as we know, the Wren boys can have a variety of costumes, whereas in the Biddy groups, the costumes are more uniform. And the particular emphasis, as far as the Biddies are concerned, is the straw hat they wear. Yes, the doll is perhaps could best describe the Biddy. And the doll is a very important part of the group and is an important feature also by the judges when they are determining the best competitors.
And I noticed there are crosses too.
Yes, the St. Bridget's cross probably originated with the advent of Telefiseren. The Telefiseren symbol, of course, was the St. Bridget's cross, and I'm sure that gave an inspiration to the Biddy groups to introduce it also into their groups.
There you go. Just a little bit about the celebration. The Bhrìde, okay, that's the doll of Bridget, the little Bridget, paraded around the community by girls while singing a hymn to Bridget. In the Hebrides of Scotland, a bright shell or crystal called the Rail Eel Bhrìde, the guiding star of Bridget, Rail Eel Bhrìde, was set on his chest. Yeah. All wore white, and their hair was unbound as a symbol of purity and youth. See, so it's very much a symbol of of birth, of the coming alive of the earth and all creatures. Okay, all wore. Let's see. They visited every house. The people visited every house, and they received food or more decoration for the Bhrìde. Afterwards, they feasted in a house with the Bhrìde set in a place of honor, like at the head of the table, and put to bed with lullabies. When the meal was done, the local young men humbly asked for admission. So this is the girls going around. So so the boys knocked on the door and asked to be admitted. They made obeisance, that is, they bowed to the Bhrìde and joined the girls in dancing and merrymaking. In many places, only unwed girls could carry the Bhrìde. In some places, both boys and girls carried it. So that's the Bhrìde. Bridget was said to visit one's home on St. Bridget's Eve, like we saw in the video. To receive her blessings, people would make a bed for Bridget, leave her food and drink, and set items of clothing outside for her to bless. And that was the Brat Bhrìde. This is the painting by the Scottish artist John Duncan, involved in the Celtic revival movement or the Celtic revival movement of the early 20th century. He is a mystic painter who heard fairy music while he painted, inspired by the old Celtic tales, both Christian and pagan. And here, Bridget is depicted as being carried by angels from her bed to the Holy Land to attend to the birth of Christ. So that's how she got from Ireland to Bethlehem. You see, so here she is being carried, okay, kind of a first-class treatment, first-class airfare. Okay. In Scottish sources, sometimes called the foster mother of Christ, okay, and described in several stories linking her to the events in Bethlehem. Okay, so anyway, now, of course, when the Presbyterians came in and supplanted in many areas Catholicism, the Presbyterians did away with stories like this and art like this because they're very strict and fundamentalist. But anyway, so the coming of Bridget. This is Duncan, again, that artist Duncan, representation of Bridget of the Tuatha De Danann, the people, the Tua. Jadanan, of Danu, okay, the goddess, shown at the beginning of spring, bringing flowers and sunlight to the land. Okay, so here she is bringing flowers and sunlight. Okay, she's dressed all in white and has bare feet, surrounded by her loving people who welcome her. Now, notice here on kind of hidden in the corner, and I didn't cut this off. This is how it was originally painted. But you see this woman on the far left as we look at it, dressed in brown and weaving something, okay, or it appears to be knitting something or holding a piece of cloth. That is the kayak viewer, the old shrill or sharp woman. Okay, the winter queen. Okay, that's the winter queen. And Bridget comes in and supplants the winter queen. Okay, so the winter queen rules during the winter, and Bridget comes in and rules during the warm months. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So there we go. So that's a little story about Bridget and why we celebrate Bridget this past, I think what the first was on Sunday, right? So why So why we celebrate St. Bridget's Day and why Tim has the St. Bridget's cross. Okay. There you go. All right. Okay. A lot of fun. Okay. Anyway, any questions or comments so far? No? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So, as usual, I have got a song. So did I share? I don't think I did. Okay, let's share. Okay. All right. Okay. Here we go. Mairead nan Curiam. Okay. Curitan. Mairead nan Curitan. Okay. Mairead of the Wiles, or Mairead of the Trickery. Tricky Mairead. Okay. So, all right. So, Hamula Lian Du Oram Hain.
Hamula Lian Du Oram Hain.
Du Oram Hain. Lian Du. Black melancholy on me. Okay. There's sorrow. Mulat, sorrow. The adjective would be muladach. Okay. Haje vungen mara. Mara. Mind is so full of feeling, trust, longing. Ni nach achik moveo. Of a thing that my mouth nach achik will not admit. Okay, moveo, my mouth. Mun oog nach rasta about a young handsome man, Varkak non state. Okay, riding the steeds, that is riding the horses. Okay. When Takasho and Uri. Okay, about this time last year, on Uri last year, Beholet Muren Nurchet. Okay, you wanted my affection, my company. Okay. All right. Havor ort me and Bliana. Okay. Na only non spare. Okay, this year you care for me, Havor ort, not more on you is me this year, Nabliana, na only non spared than the birds of the sky. Okay, so he's a fickle young fellow. Okay, he's not paying any attention to her, to the singer, to me. I mean, so you don't care for me any more than the birds of the sky. Hanish me come pure. Pure. I cannot tell to my sister. Pure. Miet mochuvastoye. The measure of my grief after you or about you. Okay. No gam vaher aruchmi.
Maher Avukmi.
Or to my mother that bore me, that gave me birth, Kurmi Flutrum non came.
Kurmikutra Nantain.
Put on weight to my step, to my steps, yeah. How heavy my step has become. A sakram in Makria,
Hakia.
Yeah.
Naktog feel nunchate. There's a heavy sack on my heart, a heavy burden on my heart that the fiddle will not lift. Naktog feel nunchate, that the not lift the fiddle of the tunes. Okay? Akavairat nankurit.
But
Mairead of the tricks is dana churhu orm briak. Okay. It's the fate you cast on me, that you told a lie on me, that you told a lie about me. Hiliku ormsa, you threw at me, Ma'alish, like an accusation. Nakbuler go on brage. That not would be mine, the brage, the bridal veil. Okay, the brage. Gurolyenef and Paskuk. Bounce na mochlave. That there was a child wrapped, okay, beneath the ribs of my breast, beneath my rib cage, okay, that I was pregnant, okay, with child. Cum inchich to an iron. To an iron. Why would you not tell the truth when a yinchik orstein? So here we have the would tell, okay, as I would tell on you. Why would you not tell? I would tell the truth about you. I wouldn't lie about you. And lahar mahirna, in the presence of my Lord and Master, my Lord, my Master, mahirna, okay, mahirna, for I'm being to tre. Where I would be and you would be at ease, okay, on a level. Hiliku ormsa, you threw at me or you cast at me my Harris, that acclaim Gunro Maher an Aish, that my father was gone or dead or absent, okay. Habunin gam aher. My father was not the same. Habunin, not the same. It's that got aher sahain.
So yeah, aher sahain.
As your father. Okay. Habunin yantayan. Habunin yantayan. Not the same were the houses. Laya don grain. The time that the sun went down, okay, we don't come from the same neighborhood, okay. It's there that you would find untied daher, in your father's house, keenest caution on a. Caution on A. Well, no, I left some off anyway. So we'll encounter it in the song, but she makes the point that her father is a fisherman. So there's evidently some sort of a caste or class division. Okay. Anyway, all right. Okay. So let's go to the song, Mairead to the Wiles. So the general gist of this is this girl who's singing the song to Mairead, addressing Mairead to us, and then Mairead feels that she's been done wrong by Mairead non Cuireadan, that the Mairead has played a trick on her, told lies about her. So let's see what we got. Okay.
Imagine choosing from 100 plus meals a week that are healthy and also delicious. Let's be real, Factor's menu is way healthy.
So anyway, so what I'm going to do now is we'll do it once more, and I'm going to slow it down. So now we have a feel for it. Let's see if this works. Sometimes the sound doesn't come across well if I slow it down, but we'll give it a try. Flag me if you're not getting the sound properly.
There's like a big gap, and then it slows down.
Can you hear that all right?
Not very.
It's cutting in and out, mostly out.
It is okay. All right. I'm sorry. All right. Well, we won't do that anyway. But you can do that on your own. You go there and go to the settings and then playback speed. Okay. So I don't know why it doesn't pick up properly, but anyway, but you find it very productive to slow it down on your own. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Let me stop the share. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Anyway, so there we go. Sgeulachd. Okay. Okay, and then next week we will continue, and I'll continue with the definite articles, and then we'll go into how to inflect the adjectives, which is where we all started. Right? Okay. So, any questions? And we'll have other fun and games as well. Okay. Any questions? Anything else? All right. Okay. All right. Well, then Aikaba Hula Dunya. Okay.
Cheery.
Aikaba, cheery. Okay.
I believe.